Hey, what's up, you guys? I just wanted to clear up a question I've gotten quite a few times, and then I'm going to go through a little mini thrift haul, and I'm also going to talk a bit about why I am no longer shopping retail for an entire year. So first, welcome to anyone new. My name is Jackie. I like to make videos about my struggle with drug addiction, so about recovery from drug addiction, about learning how to build a regenerative brand, which is a passion of mine, taking discarded items and repurposing them in a new way. And third, I like to make videos about reselling, which is where I sell on Poshmark and eBay as a part-time seller, and I earn extra money for my household. So that is actually the question. So several people have reached out and said, I found you via your meth psychosis video or another addiction video, and then I clicked on another video and you were completely different, and you were talking about selling online, reselling via Poshmark and eBay. And it's true. I understand this. Question is, why are you talking about both things? They don't seem to be related. And so I want to kind of talk about that briefly. It is because I started the channel to talk about my struggle with drug addiction, which was, I guess I didn't realize how heavy that was going to be, because when I started the channel, if I remember right, I was 6 years sober, and I thought I've been clean long enough, I should be able to talk about this stuff. In early recovery, I kept being told to kind of quiet down and sit down and just listen, don't talk. So I waited about 6 years, and I felt like I was ready to start sharing my story, and so that's why I started my channel, was to talk about drug addiction, the struggles with getting sober, becoming a mother, and getting married, starting a family, starting a business, all these things that I was learning in recovery that were hard, and I was struggling to find people that were like me to relate to. So I was like, well, I'll just start a channel about it and it'll be about my recovery. But then I learned that I didn't have it in me every week to talk about my past, because I would have flashbacks at night and I would have all this anxiety from the trauma, and it would lead me into feeling really depressed, and just, I guess mentally I realized I wasn't able to talk about addiction every week. I didn't have it in me, especially during the pandemic, which I'm sure people can understand. So I started to alternate. Okay, this week I'm going to talk about something that I am doing currently, whether it's in my business or in my life. I'm going to do a little sustainable fashion video, or I'm going to repurpose something. And so I was trying to show you that it's not all doom and gloom also. This week I'm talking about something heavy. This week I'm lightening it up with something that I'm passionate about and that's fun for me. And so that's where the variety of content comes from. Because in addiction, because when I was getting clean, things were really serious for me in my early recovery. But the longer I stay clean, the more I feel like my true self. And my true self is kind of goofy and fun-loving and like a free spirit. And I'm very artistic and creative. And I just kind of am like, I feel like wild and free or whatever. And so I want to be able to capture my current state too, not just always talk about my past, because I think that's important to highlight the light side also. So I hope that clears it up for anybody that's wondering why one week I'm talking about this, one week I'm talking about that. Hopefully that sums it up for you. Okay, moving on. Point number 2 is I've made a personal decision to not buy retail, not shop retail for an entire year, as much as I possibly can. So what I mean by that is, during the pandemic, I sort of had time to think about my shopping habits and my consumption and all of that. And what I've come to realize is that I tend to overshop retail when I don't necessarily need to. And as I'm becoming more familiar with what all goes into manufacturing these new products and just how harmful it is for the environment, especially when we're speaking about fast fashion brands. And I was finding myself grabbing things from Niko at Old Navy quite often when I looked through my receipts, and it was because I had the Gap credit card, and so I was like, oh, I have points, I'll just grab him a few things to fill in the gaps in his wardrobe. And that was sort of becoming a habit. And so I'm making the choice, and this was inspired by watching The True Cost. I will leave a link in the description box for that documentary. It was made in 2015, I believe, and it's bringing awareness to just how harmful the fast fashion industry is. And when I saw that, I immediately was like, okay, no more Old Navy, no more just grabbing things because it's convenient and because I have credit points. I want to be a lot more mindful in my purchases. And what I've realized is with sites like ThredUp, with Poshmark, with eBay, I'm already on Poshmark and eBay anyway. Why not make the choice to shop mostly on those sites for an entire year? And also I can thrift items and I can go to estate sales because they're open now. And I feel safe when I'm out with the number being restricted and all those things. So that's the choice I'm making. And so if you have a Poshmark or eBay store, please, if you want, leave it in the description box below, because as I start to need things, I want to shop small businesses more and I want to shop big corporations less. Now, if I absolutely need something, I will give myself permission to get that from whatever store has it. Like, for instance, Niko, he's kind of picky on his shoes, and I understand that. Not everybody wants to wear used shoes, but I doubt I'm going to need to go in the store and get new shoes, because the amount of sellers on Poshmark and eBay that have shoes in new or like new condition, I would just rather purchase there than go in the store and get it, because I'm supporting a small business. So that's the choice I'm making for an entire year. I'm pushing myself to do this because I feel like quitting Instagram and quitting TikTok was a hard thing to do, but ultimately once I was off there, I just felt like, okay, that wasn't that hard, and I felt stupid for all the time I spent on there and Facebook. But now that I'm off there and this is my main form of social media, I wanted to push myself again outside of my comfort zone to do something that would be a lot harder and more challenging, because I thought those were going to be more challenging than they actually were. So this is me starting. I actually started this in January. So this is me giving that a go, and then I will report back, just like I'm going to report back on social media after I'm off of it for a year. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook I've been off of, so I don't really need to report back on that. I feel great. I don't miss it. Okay, so that brings us into the mini thrift haul. So I'm going to be out thrifting more, because even if I don't need things for my Poshmark and eBay shops, which I'm goodie stash over there if you ever want to stop by my shop and see what I'm up to, I'm constantly adding things that I thrift or find at estates, but I'm also out shopping for myself and Niko and things for my house. So I'm going to be out thrifting about once every 3 weeks to always kind of be filling in what we need so I don't have to go out and shop retail. And so yes, wish me luck with that. Let's get into the thrift haul. Hit myself in the face. Okay, the first item is, it's mostly faded, but you can see it's like these insulated, here, let me stand up. I'll just put a picture in because I can't get these on the screen. These are, I guess they're called bib overalls. Keep in mind, I'm in the Midwest, so I thrift a lot of just like quality essential pieces that people might need, versus I don't find a lot of high fashion stuff. but if I find something that's like a cool style or vintage, I love to pick that up. But this haul is mostly like filler, bread and butter type items. So these are Berne, and the comps look decent. I'm hoping to get around 40 for these just because they are insulated and they don't have hardly any markings on them. Okay, the next one is this Cabela's, and it says Cabela's Outfitter Series, and I typically don't pick up winter stuff right when we're going into the next season. It's got to be special, and this coat was definitely special. It felt amazing. The exterior is wool, or let's see. The exterior is 100% wool. It has this quilted like polyester lining, but it didn't have any moth holes or damage or stains. So it's like, okay, yeah, you're going with me. I'll put you on my little coat rack possibly until next winter, but I'm going to list it this week. You never know, people, they travel year round, and especially on eBay, I can sell internationally, so that was a yes for me. Okay, these are, can you see that little patchwork detailing on them? And it's on the like heel part too. A few reasons why I picked these up. I have to do my research still, but I believe they are vintage. Here's the brand. And the second reason I picked them up is because they do have this little skid thing added, but you can tell they haven't yet been worn, or they've been worn very few times. So these are an 8.5 B, but I tried them on and I wear an 8, and they fit me, but they feel a little tight, but I have kind of a wide foot. So I think these fit closer to an 8. So that's going to be a little tricky, but otherwise I just think they're really cool. The overalls were a size 2X, and the Cabela's jacket was a size 2X as well. We have these. So why I picked these up was because I could feel the leather was in good condition, and then I looked inside and it was a good size. A 12 for men's I find to be a good size, a pretty common size. The downside was there was no branding on them. You can see there's just nothing. And then when I looked them up, I saw there was a vintage boot that looked identical to this, and it was called Wright, WRIGHT, which sells pretty well, or the comps looked good on it. So what I think happened was I think these were that brand and they were resold, because the quality is like amazing on them, and I can tell they're vintage, but they don't have a brand. So I'm going to probably note that in the description that they're identical to the right ones, but I can't verify that they are them, and then list them as vintage but unbranded, if that makes sense. But they're really nice quality, so I think these won't have trouble finding the right buyer, but I probably won't be able to get as much for them as if they were that brand. Does that make sense? These might have been a mistake, I don't know. I picked them up because I like this texture. See that? And this is why they probably were a mistake, because they are cowboy boots, and so many people say cowboy boots move well for them, but I don't sell cowboy boots that well. It says man-made lining, and then again there was no brand, so that's gonna actually be harder to sell these. And then I grabbed them because they were a size, I just saw 8D, and I thought they were a women's 8, and I was like, oh, I'll just wear them. Like, I'll wear them to style stuff and they'll be fun. I like the texture. I like that they were all black. And then they were actually a men's D, so a men's 8, that's going to be a hard size to sell. But yeah, that's those. Okay, next up we have this. It's a vintage Liz Sport. And what I really like is the star print on this. And it's kind of like a bomber style, which I love. Okay, next up we have this. Oh, there you go. I'm not sure if it's vintage or current Eddie Bauer LLV. But why I got it was because it's this chore jacket style with the corduroy collar. And these are usually marked up because they're nice. Let's see if I can kind of show you. See, it's got the 4 pockets, and I like the coloring on it, and I even like that pop of plaid it has on the interior. And it's a men's size medium, which is a good size because then a lot of women can wear that as an oversize too. And I will probably model this one. Another fun vintage one. It's like this silver windbreaker. And I'm going to put this one in my spring summer trends video. I'm going to style it for that. This is a size large. And I just like the kind of matte silver color on that. The next one is this. Can you read that? It's a Burdine. I've never come across this brand, and I got it based off of style and also based off the label being this like embossed leather, and then again it's got the plaid lining, and it's this chore jacket, field jacket style, or barn jacket, whatever you want to call it. So I got this because it's just well made and it'll be really functional for someone. And this is a men's size large, but this might be vintage. It might run small because it says 100% cotton, so that's good. Okay, next up we have this. This is probably an older label, but it's a J. Crew gingham dress, and I'll probably just insert a picture, but I got it because it's a classic style. It's a size 18, which is amazing. I love finding larger sizes because 1, it means I can model them, and 2, it's just more common. The average American woman, I believe, is a 12 to 16, so I really try to target those ranges in my closet because I'm just part-time. I only have so many hours in the day, so I try to sell to the most common sizes, and I wouldn't say I discriminate because I tried so many times to sell smaller sizes and they just don't move very well for me. So I pick them up when I can, but I do target the larger sizes. Next up we have this adorable little tennis skirt, and I just like it. It's still new with tags, but it's just Macy's brand, Ideology, that brand. I picked it up because it has no flaws, and it has shorts on the inside. It's super stretchy. It has a pocket, and I just like the ruffle detailing, and I love that it was a double XL as well. I could model this one, but it's just one size big on me. And lastly, I have this Denim and Supply Ralph Lauren large. This probably won't fit me, but it's like a peasant top. And I like the detailing on it. And it has these little kind of, it's just kind of like, can you see it? Just kind of like a prairie peasant style, which I think usually does pretty good for me in the summertime. And I've not found Denim and Supply before, so we'll see how that does. But I do believe it was 100% cotton. No, I can't find it. Yeah, 100% cotton, so that should help it move too. I'm trying to get more like natural fabrics as well, just because I think they're nicer quality, and me personally, I enjoy wearing them more. They're more comfortable, they're more breathable, as I'm like sweating compulsively. So that's it for this week. If you have any more questions for me, I think the easiest way to get a hold of me is here in the YouTube comments or on my Poshmark shop, because I'm on each every day. YouTube, I don't post every week, but I am on YouTube every day because that's where I do a lot of my learning and tutorials and that sort of thing. And then on Poshmark, I'm there every day because it's my favorite site to sell on. eBay and my email is probably the second best way to get a hold of me, but eBay's a little more strict with us just chatting with people, I believe. And then my email, I'm the worst. I do answer emails, but I'm very slow with emails because I'll literally go weeks without remembering that I even have an email. It's the same with snail mail. I just have lived most of my life without it, so it's hard for me to like constantly remember that I have it. If you are interested in any of these items, they should all be listed on my Poshmark and or eBay, which my Poshmark is linked below, and eBay I'm at Goodie Stash. And feel free to again leave your shops, eBay, Poshmark, wherever you sell, your small business links. Leave them in the comments below if you want, so that other people can shop small businesses and we can just kind of help each other out if we have something the other one may need. And happy early Easter to anyone who celebrates, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.